The Crow of Absolute Darkness is here and ready to use both its unique and destructive abilities to take on all that stand in its way. I'm Felony, and here to help you take on the fearsome behemoth, Shrowd. Before you begin your hunt, if you have it available, take a radiant weapon with you, cause this bird really doesn't like the light. Okay, let's start with some of the attacks that Shrowd has at its disposal. For basic attacks, we have Backhand, Claw Attack, Wing Sweep, Slam, Aerial Slam, Leap, and Umbral Glide. First up on the list is Backhand. Backhand is typically used whenever a player is located around its legs. As long as you don't get greedy, avoiding this move shouldn't be difficult and you won't be smacked in the face. Next we have, no. Sorry, I had to change it. Every time I see this move, this is what plays in my head. Back to the real reason we're here, Shrowd will swipe up to 4 times before following up with a graceful spin and hitting the ground. Also, keep an eye out for those early spins, cause if you get out of the crow's swipe range, the behemoth will spin earlier as a last-ditch effort to hit you before ending its combo. Moving on to Wing Sweep, this attack has range, and I mean ridiculous amount of range. Try to keep stamina on standby for this attack cause you'll most likely need to dodge. Another tip, if you stay right here, or right here, you can continue your onslaught without having to dodge. As for the Slam, this move has 2 different attack speeds. Depending on the one you get will determine the amount of time you get to avoid the Slam. If you haven't noticed already, once the Slam makes contact with the ground, Umbral pools will scatter around Shrowd. Next, taking to the sky, Shrowd will use Aerial Slam. I suggest memorizing the timing for this move as soon as possible. Trust me, the Crow loves this move. And based off my experience, you should expect this move roughly around every 30 to 40 seconds after each use. Following up, Leap allows Shrowd to reposition itself or a way to attack by landing on the player. Just watch where the Crow is landing and dodge if needed. By combining 2 Shrike attacks, you get this wicked looking attack. Much like the glide from Scrave and Shrike, if you dodge through correctly, you can avoid this attack with ease. Depending on the situation and position you're in, you can avoid this attack by running off to the side without having to dodge. Now that we have all those attacks out of the way, let's move on to the special ones. These moves include Shadow Clone, Corruption Toss, Doom Ball, and Umbral Dome. I have a question. Why have 1 Shrowd attack you when you can have 2? Seriously, once this Feathered Terror is Aether Charge, it will gain the ability to Shadow Clone itself. The clone will have a slightly different moveset compared to its host, so I highly recommend eliminating this clone as soon as possible. Otherwise, things will get pretty hectic if you leave this clone for far too long. Corruption Toss is when Shrowd brings its arms back like it's going to pitch before tossing pools of Umbral. Earlier, I mentioned about these pools when I talked about Shrowd's Slam. When you step in these nasty little pools of darkness, a status debuff called Corrupted will be given to your Slayer. This debuff will slowly drain your health, which can be removed by hitting Shrowd, the clone, or the Doom Ball. Speaking of Doom Ball, if you start hearing this sound, find it and destroy it. If you don't destroy this ticking time bomb from going off, you'll experience a ball of Umbral continue to grow. If you've been hit, your health will be reduced to a sliver. There is a limit to how far the Umbral will grow before disappearing, so if you're fast enough, you can avoid it. A pro tip when attacking the Doom Ball is to stay behind the ball when Shrowd is using Corruption Toss. Any Umbral that hits the ball will disappear, protecting you from the Corrupted debuff. This move will only be used during its Aether Charge state. During your fight, the Crow will fly up and disappear like a magic dust. These sound effects will become muffled and your visual range will be limited by a dark dome. During this time, our feathered friend will reappear nearby enraged. You can locate this bird and its clones by looking for glowing eyes. Pay very close attention to the eyes and the muffled sounds, cause this will greatly help you out when trying to avoid attacks. You can also reduce the time you're in the Umbral Dome by knocking down Shrowd during its glide. If you're unable to knock the Crow down, you'll have to wait till the Behemoth tires itself out. Once the Behemoth has had enough, it will disappear from the area and hide itself in Umbral pools. A good way to locate Shrowd is to listen to the in-game music. The music will continue to get louder as you get closer to the area. The crow always hides nearby the Aether Well. Once you're close enough, Shrowd will pop up like a ninja.
Surprise,
and strike. Alright, I think that covers most of it. Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you in Dauntless. What's the next Behemoth? Let me know what you want to see next in the comments.